Hello, and welcome to GameTales. Witcher, Bestiary, Ogroids, Cloud Giant. Many things fall from the sky other than rain and snow. Frogs, for example, and the Cloud Giant. The Cloud Giant is most likely a degenerated illusory being. He is an inhabitant of the castle in the sky, in the land of 1,000 fables. This land was abandoned and left unattended for years, during which time it began to rot, fester, and degrade. The Cloud Giant was most likely meant to be a pleasant-natured, strong man who would carry the Duke's young daughters on his shoulders and never grow tired. When he became degenerated and overgrown, however, he turned into a dangerous monster. After Jack stole his goose that laid golden eggs, the Cloud Giant decided in the future anyone who climbed onto his cloud would be tossed off without a word of warning. Cyclopses. How about this? We take a big stake, sharpen its tip, jam it into the Cyclops' eye, then sneak out of the cave, disguised as sheep. How's that not a good idea? Cyclopses can be recognized by the single eye located in the center of their foreheads. If for some reason that is not visible, other telltale signs are their enormous size, incredible strength, and a seething hatred for all humans. Goliath. According to legend, Goliath had once been a knight who had violated his vows, for which he was punished by the Lady of the Lake. Transformed into a giant, he fled into the mountains and would only descend into the inhabited lowlands when hunger forced him to it. There's no knowing how much truth lies in that legend, yet it is incontrovertible fact that this dangerous giant gobbled up shepherds and sheep alike, and was so wildly feared, governesses used him to scare children into eating their vegetables. Though he came across as a wild, unthinking beast, Goliath used simple tools, and any item could turn into a deadly weapon in his powerful hands. When fighting Geralt, Goliath wielded a millstone, making his every blow truly crushing. Luckily, Geralt already had some experience slaying giants and made quick work of Goliath as well, with the much appreciated help of 3 knights, Milton de Parac Peran, Palmarin de l'Enfant, and Guillaume de l'Enfant. Hagupman. Ye or anyone ever heard of a beast sitting a wagon in the reed, then waiting in ambush? They're too plowing dumb for that, damn it. Your average necker is cowardly and weak, and only ever attacks in groups, even then only when the group greatly outnumbers its opponents. Yet at times there will appear among them an individual who towers over the rest in terms of strength, stamina, and cunning. Such neckers are usually called warriors, though that name is misleading. Warriors fight with honor, face to face. These overgrown neckers act more like assassins. They strike by surprise, from hiding in the back, or when their opponent exposes himself while attacking. Luckily, like other Necker warriors, are vulnerable to all the signs, and their blows can be easily parried or countered. Such a monster lived near the village of Larvik of Hindisfjall, and not even the strongest of islanders were capable of slaying it. A witcher though, a witcher's another story. Ice Giant. Fled one time in my life from the Ice Giant, and know what? I'm not a bit ashamed. This powerful primeval monster is quite possibly the last of its race. The Ice Giant resembles a man in many respects, but is blue as frost and taller than a tree. Though it seems capable of reason, all attempts to communicate with it to date have ended the same way, in a quick and painful death. Ice Troll. Our winters cold and deep, frostbite eats your feet, snow falls down and hides the ground, and ice trolls awake from sleep. Climbing to the top of snow-covered peaks is never a safe endeavour. One can slip and fall into a ravine, be buried in an avalanche, or stumble across ice trolls. Unlike the rock trolls found at lower altitudes, these permafrost-dwelling monsters treat every man they encounter as a possible ingredient for a tasty meal. Luckily, ice trolls live atop high mountain ridges, so inaccessible they rarely encounter humans, and some suppose this is why they have not mastered the basics of common speech. Others claim their harsh mountain home has stripped them of an ability they once possessed. For in a land of never-ending cold, there is no room for mercy or understanding. Ice trolls are crueler than their rocky kin, though they use similar tactics in battle, tossing stones and swinging with their mighty fists. They are heartier and stronger than rock trolls, and thus more dangerous. Like rock trolls, their backs are covered in thick protective armour, meaning one should never strike them from the rear. Meanwhile, their mass means that the Aeon sign cannot move them. Lastly, never think of attacking them during a blizzard. At such times, they draw power from the surrounding cold and fight with increased strength. Necker. Take heed, gents, there's neckers under this here bridge. If you all cross at once, without slowing or stopping, there's nothing to fear. But if your cart throws an axle and you get stuck out there, well, close your eyes and pray to Melatelli. A lone necker is harmless, 5 are dangerous, 10 can kill even a veteran monster slayer. Particularly troublesome are the larger, stronger individuals known as warriors, as well as the rare breed of neckers known as pukas. Neckers and pukas live in the dark woods that grow in damp, mist-filled valleys, in colonies of 1 to several dozen individuals. They dig deep burrows for lairs and connect them with a network of narrow tunnels. Using these passageways, they are able to move at great speed within and around their colonies. Neckers always attack in groups and by surprise. They try to surround their prey as quickly as possible, cutting off all escape routes. Luckily, their attack is for the most part disorganized, for neckers are not gifted with great courage, and individual neckers will often hesitate before overcoming their fear and striking. When fighting them, one can use this moment of hesitation to kill the braver individuals before finishing off those who remain in the back. Rock Troll. Man must readily talk, but no tricksy or troll boom man head. If while hiking high in the mountains you come across a walking stone, do not think your eyes deceive you. Instead, draw your sword, for before you stands a rock troll. True, not every encounter with these creatures ends in a fight. While not particularly intelligent, trolls are capable of reason, but it is better to prepare for the worst. Otherwise, your hike might not end on the summit, but in their stew. Trolls are able to use fire and simple tools, and some of them have even mastered the basics of common speech. Though linguistic nuances such as conjugations and declinations escape them, they are extremely fond of riddles, rhymes, and all sorts of wordplay, a fact a witcher in possession of a bit of wit can use to his advantage. If a fight proves inevitable, one must watch out for the stones these trolls throw with great strength and shocking precision. Their powerful, heavy fists also present a danger, for they can buckle even the sturdiest breastplate or cuirass. Since their backs are covered in a layer of rocky growth, blows delivered from behind will not do them much damage. They must thus be fought directly, standing face to face, and preferably armed with a sword covered in a fresh coating of Ogroid oil. Wham-a-wham. Them's in walk, troll house. Troll say, out mans, but they wham-a-wham troll rocks. so troll, wham too. Rock trolls come across as dim-witted, ponderous, slow, stupid to be frank. It's easy to dismiss them and even to enrage them. When this happens, one's best bet is to run as fast as possible, for an angered rock troll is as deadly as a thundering landslide. The truth held in the case of the massive rock troll known as Wham-a-Wham. His every blow struck like a battering ram, meaning one needed either avoid them entirely or protect oneself with the Quen sign. Its hard skin meant it was near invulnerable to sword strikes, especially those dealt from behind, where its rock armor is the thickest. The only hope for defeating it lay in taking advantage of its typical troll slowness, especially if further exploited using the Yrden sign. A certain set of Skellige miners learned firsthand just how dangerous rock trolls can be. Ignoring all warnings, they started to mine a rich silver vein in the cave which Wham-a-Wham called home. They died soon thereafter, crushed or torn to rough bits. This time, a troll's killings were a justified act of self-defense. After all, the Witcher reasoned, every troll's cave is his castle.